Very good. So thank you very much, David, for introducing me. Indeed, I am Silvia Melegari, and I'm the Secretary General of CEI Bois, the European Confederation of the Woodworking Industry. We are a lobby organization operating in Brussels. And what I can tell you is that I work in the wood industry since 2006. And this is the first time of my life, professional life, that I see a dossier raising so many concerns and keeping us busy even after the dossier is published on the official journal of the EU. So let's recall what is the EUDR. The EUDR regulation was published on the official European journal at the end of June 2023 and is expecting to enter in application at the end of this year. The EUDR aims to combat deforestation and forest degradation. How to define deforestation and forest degradation? You can read it in Article 2 of the regulation, meaning deforestation is conversion of forest to agricultural use, wherever or not human-induced. Forest degradation is structural change to forest cover in the form of primary forest or naturally regenerating forest into plantation forest or into other woodland, primary forest into planted forest. It's important to underline that when we are talking about plantation forest, we are not meaning, this is what the European Commission has already clarified, we do not mean simply the exercise of afforestation. So plantation, it's really when you are planting, for example, eucalyptus. And what are the other key elements? So it's a regulation that will impose that operators and traders must prove that important or sold relevant products in the EU market are deforestation free and also forest degradation free for the wood product. As I will explain in a moment, the key component of the EUDR is the due diligence statement, where you will upload information about the data that characterize your product and assessing the risk or mitigating the risk according to Article 9, Article 10, and Article 11 of the regulation. As I said before, companies need to comply by December 2024, and SMEs have extra 6 months to comply with the regulation, meaning by June 2025. Failure to comply may lead to penalties or prohibition. If you have noticed, the regulation counts in total 37 articles, and the Commission has already published 40 Q&A, question with answer, in order to explain what is the regulation about. But 80 more Q&A are going to be published in the coming months, and I will come back to this point to a moment. But let's now, what is this due diligence statement? So if you look at the regulation, is Annex 2 that provide you all the information that need to be done and need to be uploaded on the due diligence statement. But we need to make, first of all, already a clarification. There will be a due diligence statement that is going to be uploaded on the information system. And I will show you what it is in a moment. We know that on the information system and due diligence statement that have to be made on this online system, you will have to provide the following information: operator names, the address, the EORI identification number, in case you are an import or exporter of the relevant commodities. There will be reference to the harmonized system of the product that you are importing or exporting or producing on the EU market, information about the full scientific name, the quantity, and of course, the country of production with this new requirement of geolocalization information. But if you look at Article 9 that actually apply to all level of risk country. And let me make a step back. The due diligence vary according to the level of risk that will be assigned to country by the European Commission. Low risk country will have to do only one step of the due diligence. Standard risk country and high risk country will have to do 3 steps of the due diligence. But Article 9 that apply to all risk country also foreseen 2 additional requirements, meaning that operators will also have to provide information that the relevant products are deforestation free, and also conclusion and verifiable information that the relevant commodities have been produced in accordance to the relevant legislation of the country, including any specific arrangement conferring the right to use that area. So this point G and H that you will find in the regulation, so far, according to what we have seen and what has been shown by the Commission, doesn't have to be uploaded on the information system. So this is another question that we are expecting to receive information from the Commission. Is an operator supposed to have this document somewhere in his computer, or there will be a kind of reporting that has to be done in a more official way? Because, as I said before, the due diligence statement is going to be uploaded on the information system. The information system, it's a computerized tool that will allow the operator to declare their due diligence step. And this it's the expected time framework of the publication and of the working time of the information system. So in May, the Commission has created what is called the API technical specification. These are the specifications for the interface system. When the Commission presented the information system at the end of December 2023, operators were expected to upload the information manually. There was a consultation that lasted more or less 1 month with the selected companies selected by the Commission, and what it has been clear, it was the information system will never work if we do not have an interface system. And this has been created in May. The creation has been ended in May. In June, all IT experts who wanted to participate to the API conformance test were invited to send a mail to the European Commission and to say, we want to take part in this conformance test. We want to verify if this API system is actually something that can mirror the IT system that we have in our company. And according to the information that we have received from the Commission, it appears that this interface is perfectly working with the IT available in the company. As a wood industry, we did not receive information about our members who have participated in this conformance test. So I have to take for granted what the Commission told us, but even the pulp and paper industry with whom we are working on a regular basis did not receive information about their company who actually participate in this testing. And I repeat, only IT experts were invited to participate. July and August, there should be the month where the Commission will publish informative videos and will start to organize conferences in Brussels or online in order to do training of the information system, how it will look like, and what you have to do. September, then there will be also the distribution of a manual with the instruction, but there will be also training for member states in order to be able to assist operators in uploading the information. Moreover, there will be additional training session during the month of October, ahead of the opening of the registration on the information system. Because in order to interact in this information system, you need first to register. And then 2nd of December is of this year, the information system is expecting to be launched officially, meaning you companies will be able to upload the information and your first due diligence statement. So these are extract of picture that the Commission has shown us, and is what you are expected to see when you will land on the due diligence page of the information system. Operators will be able to view and manage their due diligence statement in a dashboard, and the status of the statement will be updated as it's processed by the competent authorities. The operators that import or export relevant commodities or relevant products will be asked to provide their economic operator registration and identification, this EORI number, when registering in the system. Nevertheless, the EUDR also apply on the EU internal market. That means that even if you are not exporting, you need to upload the information. And if you do not export, you do not have this EORI number, but nevertheless, you can use VTA number, national company number, or taxpayer identification number. The system also have a function that will allow you to retract an existing due diligence statement, meaning you will have the possibility to amend or to delete the due diligence statement within 72 hours, unless the due diligence statement have not been processed by the competent authority. In that moment, you are not able to make any more modification. But this is another point that we are expecting an answer. Do we have 72 hours before the validation of the competent authorities? This is a question that we do not have an answer. This, and I'm going to read it, is the information about the geolocalization data that have been provided by the Commission. I will share with the Timber Development UK also the link where this technical information can be downloaded. They have been provided by the Commission. They're also available online. So in order to provide the information on the geolocalization data, you need to use a specific standard that is this GeoJSON file format in order to import the geolocalization coordinate. These must also be provided in conformance to the WGS 84th standard. And here you can see also the other requirement, regardless of the input method, that it could be manual or through the IP. The geolocalization file are provided per commodity. So if you have more than one commodity, you will need to do more than one due diligence statement. And there will be also a limitation of the geolocalization data file that cannot exceed 25 megabytes. Now, this is another element that only an IT expert can evaluate if this is sufficient or not. We did not receive information from our company if this is sufficient or not. And so if someone has already some comment, we are happy to take it. Then what you are going to upload is, of course, the geolocalization information, but also the producer country, the producer name, the production place, the area of point in hectare, and another information that the Commission has provided. When the geolocalization data is large, the user interface will not display them, but nevertheless, these will be uploaded. And this is how it will actually look like, one of the possibilities that operators have. So operators can indicate the exact origin of products and materials by drawing areas on a map and by providing coordinates individually or in a bulk. Please remember that you have to draw a polygon. It's not allowed to use, for example, a geometric form as it could be a circle. It always has to be a polygon. And to make the process as simple as possible for companies working with the product from multiple locations, there are also options for uploading, copying, or reusing location information. And as explained before, coordinates can be provided in bulk using a file using the GeoJSON standard format. On this aspect, only, I repeat, only IT professionals were allowed to provide feedback to the Commission. So these were the information that so far the Commission has provided us. And I did not mention before, no, actually I did mention it. The Commission now is also expecting to publish new Q&A, question and answer, related to the implementation of the EUDR, because many questions has been remained unanswered from the first Q&A session. And here I've selected only two of the most relevant concern that at this stage are worrying us as a wood industry. I selected the two because we cannot spend only the entire afternoon to list it all. But this is one that more and more companies are reporting, and I wanted to share it with you. And the concern is about the reporting in excess. I showed you before that you have to introduce or a polygon or provide the geolocalization information of this polygon in order really to give a clear view of the Commission where your logs are coming from. But the Commission has also said that you can do reporting in excess if you feel like the polygon that you have traced may not be where exactly your logs are coming from, but it's possible that more logs have been included. In this case, you can do a reporting in excess, but do not forget that then you will be responsible for the entire amount of logs that you have declared, for the entire amount of information, geolocalization information that you have been reported. So let's imagine that for a human error inside your wood supply that I want to make in excess 7 million cubic meter of wood, you have a small quantity of wood that, I repeat, is not causing forest degradation. It's not coming from a deforested area, but that for some reason it was not in the expected area that you have foreseen. And let's imagine that this quantity is very small, is 700 cubic meters. If this non-compliant amount of wood enter in your 7 million cubic meter of wood that was compliant, the entire plot, the entire amount of wood is going to be considered non-compliant. And why this? Because not only the sawmill industry, but even furthermore down in the value chain, the other operators will not be able to apply Article 24 that foreseen corrective action in the event of not compliance, meaning rectifying any formal non-compliance, preventing that the relevant material will be placed or made available on the market, withdrawing or recalling the relevant product immediately, or donating the relevant product to charitable or public interest purposes. Once logs enter in the log yard in the sawmill, these are mixed, and there is no way you are able to re-identify this material. If this is going to happen, then member states may open an infringement procedure. You may receive fine, confiscation of the product, or even a temporary suspension of product from the market. So this is one of the questions that we are asking the Commission, what it could be a solution But another important element is about the SMEs. Are we in or are we out? So if we look at the EU reality, 85.5%, particularly of the sawmill, and I'm mentioning the sawmill because we are the first step in the value chain after the forest owner, are micro companies. Only 1% of the sawmill in Europe can be defined as a large company according to the EU definition. If we look at Article 4 of the regulation, Article 4 of the regulation, and also according to the information that we have received from the Commission in writing, in bilateral exchange, if you are an SMEs, a small SMEs, you receive your logs, and these logs are all covered by a due diligence statement. You do not have to do any further step. You only have to provide the due diligence reference number to the competent authorities if the competent authority will ask you to do so. But what Article 4 also say is that if you are a downstreamer operator that are not SMEs, you can refer to the due diligence statement that have already been submitted, but only after having ascertained that the due diligence has been exercised of the product that you're putting on the market. And here is the problem, because one interpretation that has been given is that if an SME sell to a downstreamer operators, the downstreamers operator needed to verify the information about the due diligence, but these were not checked by the sawmill that was an SMEs because of this paragraph 8 of Article 4, because they were not requested to do so. Meaning, or the downstreamer operator is able to re-verify the entire process from the forest to the sawmill, or the downstreamer operators may not even buy from the small sawmills, meaning the small sawmills will be actually obliged to do the due diligence. When we have explained orally this problem to the Commission said and reiterate, SMEs shall not do any further step in the due diligence. They only have to pass this to the reference number to the downstreamers operator, and the downstreamers operator has the assumption that the step of the due diligence were correct because a due diligence statement has been issued. This is something that we need to see in writing. We need to see or in the guidelines or in the revised Q&A what the Commission is asking us to do, because it makes a huge difference. So if the first interpretation it's valid, it's correct, meaning the SMEs are fully exempted, then as you can imagine, the EUDR implementation is going to be a little bit easier. But if the SMEs are actually requested to do the due diligence, I even do not know how we will explain to them what they have to do, because I'm now talking to people who knows about the EUDR, but what my members who are national association are reporting me is that in some rural area, they have no idea about all this change. And then, of course, another point that has an implication, and of course is also of concern for the wood industry in general, but also for the other commodities in the scope of the EUDR, is the country benchmarking. The country benchmarking, I mentioned it before, it's this system or classification that the Commission is expecting to do in order to classify a country as a high risk, standard risk, or a low risk. According to the level of risk of the producing countries, the operators will have to do one step of the due diligence or the 3 steps of due diligence. There is no difference between high or standard risk country in terms of due diligence step. Now, at this stage, we have no information about the process that the Commission has been undertaking in order to make this benchmarking. We know that a Dutch think tank have been appointed in assisting the Commission in doing the country's benchmarking. And also what we know is that technically speaking, the Commission has until the end of this year to do the country benchmarking. At the same time, if operators do not know if they are operating in a low risk country or even a standard risk country, they may not know how many steps of due diligence they need to start to do. Article 29 also lists what are the criteria that need to be taken into account in order to make the benchmarking. And one is the rate of deforested area and forest degradation, the rate of expansion of agricultural land for relevant commodities, and production trends of relevant commodities and relevant products. How these criteria will be actually used by this think tank together with the Commission, we do not know. We know that the Commission will present the country benchmarking during the multi-stakeholder deforestation platform, but when, we do not know. And another important information that we have is that the Commission is requested to enter in a dialogue only with the country who are expecting to be classified as a high risk. Why this? Because the country, while us as operator, we have the 3-step of due diligence. In the scenario we are high risk or standard risk, country instead have to do control that are different if they are in low risk, standard risk, or high risk. So the Commission is going to assist the country in order to be standard risk, and meaning do also less control. And for this reason, we'll enter in dialogue with this. So the countries that are expected to be high risk, we expect are the ones that will know faster about the progress of the country benchmarking. And this is why what we have advised our members, because this cannot be done by the stakeholders in Brussels, it's ask your country to provide as many information as possible on the basis of this Article 29. Send the document in order to prove that you are a low risk country. And of course, when CEI Bois Act doesn't only act alone, as I said at the very beginning, this is a dossier that is keeping us busy all the time. It's a dossier that never sleeps, and we are constantly communicating amongst each other, but also externally to the European Commission, to the member of the Parliament, and to member states, in order to highlight the implication that the EUDR is going to have for the European producer, but not only. So here you have an example of the 3 most recent actions that have been taken by CEI Bois. CEI Bois that have been acting in collaboration also with other commodities, not necessarily in the timber value chain. Another very recent letter was sent in order also to support the furniture sector that is affected by this regulation, not only for the wood product, but also for the leather product a few days ago on 15 July. And what this letter were about. But first of all, they were a letter in order to ask for meetings. And the 3 main elements that they were highlighted, 4 main elements that were highlighted were the following. First of all, we were asking for a delay of the entry into application of the regulation. We never specified when this postponement should take place, but nevertheless, we have been very loud in saying it cannot happen in December. We are not ready. For the timber industry, you need also still to clarify how the EUDR material will continue to live together with the EUDR material, because and now I mention another concern. You cannot forget that the EUDR will continue to apply until December 2027. But at the same time, it's for the material, according to the regulation, that have been already produced. Now, let's imagine that I'm a hardwood producer and I'm harvesting now my material. My logs are going to be EUDR compliant. But if I sell them, if I process them and I sell them in January, I need to be EUDR compliant according to the text of the Commission. Now, we have been asking this question to the Commission, which kind of geolocalization information are we going to provide? Because we do not have them. And how can we report that our logs are EUDR compliant in the information system? It's not possible. There is no other box than for the geolocalization information on the information system. So we have still very important questions that have been highlighted in writing and orally, and on the basis of this, we are asking for a postponement. Other reason for asking a postponement, it was the lack of guidelines that so far have not been published, and the fact that companies only had one training session in the information system, and thinking that now companies will have training is too short a time really to explain how this will actually work. And of course, the fact that the country benchmarking have not been completed. Now here you do not see, you only see the EU operators, but we have been also aligned and making a letter with, for example, the American Hardwood Council, with the Canadian Pulp and Paper Association, with the coalition that represent also tropical wood. So we have been always active, mobilizing any possible supporter in our request. And our requests have been certainly heard by member states. So what is currently the situation? Overall, we know that the large majority of member states support the delay of the entry into application. When you read here general support from, you can see that I underline Spain and Portugal. Why this? Because unfortunately yesterday I have been informed that Spain and Portugal do not any longer support a delay of the entry into, of a postponement of the entry into application of the EUDR. Now, it's an exchange of information among stakeholders. I don't have an official letter from Spain and Portugal, but I'm not surprised because usually Spain and Portugal are quite, are countries that always want to move, showcase green commitment. Then you see also that Germany is highlighted because Germany is one of the countries that move from support and non-support very, very easily. Now, originally, Germany was a country who was not supporting a delay in the entry into application of the EUDR, unless Germany was going to define low-risk country. So Germany was saying, if I'm going to be low-risk country, perfect, the EUDR can enter into application. If I'm going to be standard country, or even worse, high-risk country, then there is no way that I will not support a delay in the entry into application. So our concern is that an important country as Germany, if will be aware, will be informed that they're going to be given the low-risk country, then it will not any longer support a delay in the entry into application. On 15 July, so really, really recently, the Austrian delegation, and Austria is the most active country on this dossier. It's the country who really understand fully, without any they fully understand what are the implications of the EUDR, and they're really supporting the industry. Austria has produced a letter, a note, ahead of the Agriculture Council that took place on the 15th of July, saying the title of the letter was European Agriculture and Forestry, the backbone for a competitive, sovereign, and prosperous EU. Amongst the different statement that Austrian has put forward, there was also this request to the Commission to reconsider the time framework of the application of the deforestation regulation and to address a serious concern related to its implementation. Now, this letter, where amongst the different points there is the delay of the entry into application of the EUDR, was only signed by Czech Republic, Finland, Greece, Lithuania, Poland, and Slovakia. Hungary, that fully support us on this point, unfortunately, being president of EU, cannot sign any kind of this statement, because when you have the presidency of the EU, you must act as a moderator, as someone who find a compromise solution. You cannot only represent your country. So why the number of countries is so reduced? We do not have an official answer, but we have the letter, we can circulate the letter. The reason is that the Austrian delegation has been too much proactive, if I can say, in listing the role of the forestry sector and in the requests that were supposed to be endorsed by the member states. They also did this in a very short time framework, because the letter was produced 1 week ahead the agriculture meeting. So in my view, but it's also the view shared by other stakeholders, the time framework was too short for country to really endorse the entire content. So it is possible that if the letter would have been only EUDR, then we may had more signatory of the letter. So as I said before, we had plenty of meetings with the European Commission at the low level, but also at the highest level, so at the commissioner level. We met with the Commissioner of Environment, we met with the Commissioner for Agriculture, we met with the Cabinet of Breton and the Cabinet of the Commissioner for the Green Deal. Now, while the Commissioner for Agriculture fully support our request of a delay of the entry into application of the EUDR, the Commissioner of Agriculture even wrote a letter to Ursula von der Leyen asking to put in standby this regulation. Other commissioners are not of the same view. Commissioner Breton, who is the responsible for the industry, has taken note of our concern, that it means, okay, I sympathize with your cause, but my impression is that, and I'm not wrong, is not going to do anything. Commissioner for the Green Deal and certainly the Commissioner for Environment. Now, the Commissioner for Environment has been moved to the European Parliament, but it's the same. DG ENVI is not allowing postponement. They are very vocal in saying, we are on time, we are working on all the expected steps of the implementation. And here I'm reporting one of the answers that we have received from the Commissioner. And when you read this answer, you can really see that they are recalling the scope of the EUDR. They are refreshing us our knowledge about how the EUDR will work, the fact that the Commission is working on the pilot testing, that they have been developing this application programming interface, this API system, as the stakeholder have been asking. So DG Environment certainly is fully against this postponement. And why this? Because, and this it's something that we have been verifying also with the legal report, legal opinion that we ask to a legal firm here in Brussels to verify. Although we have all their motivation possibly existing to ask for a postponement, to obtain a postponement in the framework of the legislative text of this regulation, it's almost impossible. It will imply reopen the regulation. Reopen a regulation is mean a recast. Only the Commission can do it. In the moment that they will resend the text to the Parliament, it is very possible that member states or a member of the Parliament will try to introduce amendment to this regulation. So it's a very, very critical, situation. Now, a recast is also not fully supported by member states that instead will support a delay in the entry into application. So we need to find, or at least the Council need to find how to obtain, using the legislative instruments that are available at EU level, a way to only open the entry into application article and only amend that article. Said this, as I mentioned before, we are having meetings with other organizations coming from basically all around the world. We are in contact with the Malaysian Timber Council, with some African producer representative, and we know from our exchange and our collaboration that they have been supporting one request in particular to the Commission, is the grace period. But what does it mean, grace period? Grace period could mean, option one, member states are not going to give sanction and they're not going to do investigation, referring to the EUDR implementation. But it could also mean that member states will do investigation, and if you are found non-EUDR compliant, you want to receive a fine. Now, this is something that as EU operator, we do not support. And when I say we, I mean, I'm talking on behalf of my members, because an investigation, even if it's not leading to a fine, but that may lead to the conclusion that you did not respect the EUDR, and you may not respect the EUDR, I repeat and I stress, simply for a human error, not because you have made you have been not complying with the deforestation or forest degradation, but because there is a human error, and the EUDR doesn't differentiate between human error and action that actually lead to deforestation or forest degradation. The damage that you will receive in your image is something that you cannot even estimate, is priceless. So why actually non-EU producers are so vocal in asking a grace period? Because according to the information they share with us, apparently the EU producer are, the EU importer, the EU operators are asking to the non-EU producer to have a clause in the contract. And the clause actually say that in case we, EU operator, are found guilty, not a EUDR compliance, you, non-EU producer, will have to pay this fine. So as you can imagine, this is not going to motivate the non-EU producer to sign any contract. And at the same time, if the grace period will be given, they could feel, okay, I can sign this because I know that for a certain amount of time, no fine is going to be given. Now, it is undeniable that the companies need more time in order to learn how to use this information system, how to upload the information, understanding how it will be actually implemented. So according to the position of the European woodworking industry,
yeah, we might have a technical issue. Silvia, are you still here? Okay, is it
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you back now, Silvia.
Okay, I'm
Okay, I'm
sorry.
good. That's okay.
Until where you were able to hear?
About the contract. About the contract, you were saying, hello, Silvia? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, now, yes.
Okay.
You're back again. Silvia, we are also running a little bit behind.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the contract, the a little bit unfair.
I will be very fast. So grace period supported by this country because they feel more comfortable in sign this kind of contract because fine are not going to be given, but EU operators are not in favor of this option because it will actually have implication on their image in case they will be found guilty, even if not fine is given. And at the same time, it will depend how member states will implement this grace period. Said this, the European Commission appears to be in favor of a grace period. This is what has been said in bilateral meeting. So we will need to see what is going to happen. To conclude, very briefly, two last information. I'm speaking on behalf of CEI Bois, but I'm the same person working also for EOS, the European Organization of the Sawmill Industry. As I said before, the sawmill industry is the first step after the forest where the wood is going to be processed. We are involved together with our Romanian member and also with the Pifto, a French sawmill company, in synthetic, who is the second largest Horizon Europe founded project in the framework of the forestry area. What the project is about, synthetic is going to guarantee full traceability from the forest to the final product once it will be completed. It's a 4-year project. As I said before, reporting in excess for the sawmill could have dramatic implications if errors are found. Through synthetic, through the development of synthetic, this won't be needed because each log is going to be traced. Each log is going to have its code in order to be recognized in the sawmill. Of course, there are cost implications. There's a need to be assessed. Nevertheless, imagine an operator operating in a high-risk country or a sawmill that operates at the border with a protected area. This system will provide a reliable solution and a reliable tool in order to overcome this challenge. We have here with us another partner of synthetic, that is Garrett, and he will go more in detail for what it concerns the traceability solution. Last but not least, to conclude, guidelines of the Commission and Q&A, as I said before, they are not yet published, while according to the Commission are stopped at the highest level, meaning at the level of von der Leyen. We will see tomorrow what the European Parliament is going to vote, if they are going to re-elect Ursula von der Leyen as President of the Commission. We believe that her election or non-election will have an implication on the EUDR. So in the coming weeks, we will know more. Sorry if I took too much time, and sorry also for the internet problem. Sorry for that.